Day 30, Channeling from Source. This is the second day in Asoa's sharing in her integration class, the sharing of the human experience. Asoa speaks. Thank you for focusing on this now moment together. Yesterday, we touched on that very big question of the human suffering. It is an experience beyond anything you have actually been through when you are in a body, where you are into that veil of forgetfulness or the amnesia, as some of them call it. For you do not remember who you are. You do not remember that you are Source. Your body feels separate from everybody else, and you are pushed into this world which programs you, teaches you to look after yourself. Survival of the fittest, some of them call it, even though it doesn't benefit the whole. So you are programmed, you are taught, molded into becoming somebody who just wants the best for himself, herself, and her or his loved ones. And that is something that can stay within your being for some time until you are cracked open, until your vibration rises and you realize that you can move and shift from win over others to win with others. The win-win situation. That when you become part of this world and you contribute to this world, then the world is a better place and you grow exponentially. As we had guided Nadesh to write in her book, specifically when she spoke about the goals, as we spoke in a previous channeling, the first 2 weeks, the goal is not important. The goal or the results is always what the mind, the survival brain is after. Whereas if you can let go of the results of the outer circumstances and effect, then you move and you shift into the world of energy, the world of beyond matter. So being in alignment and letting everything come from the inside out is the only goal. And when you manifest miracles, it is because the very quality and the essence of what you are created is who you've become. There's a readiness and maturity being expressed through you, and it's not what you want in order to. It is what wants to be expressed through you and will allow you to grow from a limited self into a self who owns their gifts and inspire others. It is selflessness over self-centeredness. And that's the higher way to making your dreams and goals come true. It's not what is in this goal for you. It is what's in you for that goal to be the manifestation of your highest good and that of everybody else. Let's repeat this. It is not what's in this goal for you. It's what's in you for that goal to be the manifestation of the highest good of everybody. And that is something that human beings take quite a time to get to. They are steeped into an upbringing which really teaches them that you need to get. And the ways to see if you're successful, if you're achieved, is how much money you have, your professional status, your level of fitness, the way you look, the house you're in, the car you drive, all these external signs of success, which are still leading a lot of the humans. Of course, many have gone way beyond this and have understood the qualities of the heart, the connections, the compassion, the sharing. All of these beautiful qualities are there. The love you will see on this planet is beyond words. It is so extremely beautiful. But there still are so many conditions happening, and it's very different from country to country, continent to continent, cultures, different families. So when you are incarnated in that body with the veil of amnesia, you don't remember who you are, that you are source, that you are energy, because your body appears solid. From your senses, your body is solid and you're separate from everybody else on the planet. You're separate from your environment and the earth, twinned with the idea of getting. You will not respect the highest good of all. And I know a lot of you are focusing on the idea of war, on the idea of famine, on the idea of lack, and cannot conceptualize these. And that's where a lot of this stem from. That vibration of greed, corruption, shame and guilt and fear, very much the survival brain. People who have been damaged, people who have gone through trauma, brought up by generations of parents who themselves didn't get all that they needed. It's a wheel, a cycle of low vibration, intense programming that is repeated again and again and again. And when you are in a body as a human being, you really believe that you need to do, you need to be of a certain quality, of a certain skill, have a certain experience, look a certain way to be successful, to receive. The idea of give and receive in a conditional way is highly anchored on the earth. So when you get to a certain age, or if you don't have the right exams, or if you've been told lies about yourself all your life, you just don't feel good enough. This not good enough is literally rife on the whole planet. There is that sense of unworthiness which leads them to not being able to ask the universe because they don't believe that they're connected to the universe. So they have to do everything by themselves. And religions have made their gods as a punishing God. Some religions more than others. But the punishing God is a God of judgment. And therefore, if they have belief in a higher power, which is directed by the dogma of religion, their God is in their own image, suppressed, repressed, judgmental, limited. And some of them use that to go to wars against others, which obviously from our perspective has no sense whatsoever. And for some of the humans, and actually quite a lot of the humans nowadays feel the same. And that's where the beauty is, because human beings, in spite of all of these seemingly challenging situations in our world, so many of them have grown. So many of them know love and compassion. So many of them have now detached from the dogmas which are too restrictive. They have understood the lessons from the past, understood that there is no reason for war. There is no reason for judging and limiting. But that has taken some of them quite a few lifetimes. And from my own experience, I went through lifetime after lifetime of being the victim, being wounded from an early age by parents who were themselves wounded, in a society which was wounded, from an upbringing which was so limiting, and literally brainwashed me into believing that it was hard. I had to suffer to be happy. I had to work hard to make money. All of this as a man and as a woman. And the deepest lesson I got was being born into a family of the opposite, the abusers, the perpetrators, the narcissists, and experiencing myself becoming one of them. Obviously, at the time, I wasn't aware of it, but in my life review, it became so obvious to me that the wounding and the damage of my parents, of my environment, led me to protect myself in a way that numbed me. And that numbing disempowered me from my authenticity. And I became cruel. I became self-centered. I became so alone and so isolated. So I needed outlets to avoid feeling all of this. And that's what a lot of these humans are caught up into. Addictions of all kind, petty crimes, violence, and on and on. And as the vibration on their planet rises, they are slowly forced to face their inner demons. And a lot of them do, because obviously now we can say that on the other side, there are many, many teachers, scholars, researchers, scientists, and pioneers in so many ways who are bringing a new model for life, science and new technologies, which are going to transform them in such a way to clean the planet, to heal the planet. But it is not a small task, because when your brain has been damaged, when there's trauma, you're literally operating with a lower capacity. You can't connect to the heart as much and as easily as you would be otherwise. So the ones who can connect to their heart, they're able to spread the love through so many of their programs in mindfulness, meditation, breath work, yoga, tai chi, all the spiritual podcasts and programs which are literally mushrooming at such a increased rate, and any creation based around fun and art and music and laughter. It is transforming life. Life down there is changing. It is so beautiful to see. But before you're able to get to that point of that shift within, where you fully understand that it's not going to come from the outside, because whatever comes from the outside has a shelf life. It can never fulfill you, because it will be something that is conditional. So it takes people sometimes lifetimes or experiences in their lives where they so want to achieve this and that that they get there and it still feel that emptiness within when there's no reason for it. So a lot of them are an antidepressant. It's the void within. But the void is source. The void is the space in between the atoms, as we have explained in the previous channelings. That is the energy where magic happens. That is where you are in when you force yourself beyond your comfort zone. The unknown, the place in between the thoughts, the place in between what's automatic and what's new, the place in between the emotions. So that void that some of them feel would be the place of transformation, transmutation within themselves when they have understood that nothing from the outside world will ever be able to give them anything because it's all within. Ultimately, it is what they reveal from themselves that changes it all. And that will be the point we are going to develop tomorrow. Reveal. What are you going to reveal which is already in you today? We love you beyond words, beyond worlds. Namaste.